Whoops. That went too far. We went too far. Yeah, we did. All right, so that was supposed to stay over here. Why the heck did that move? Well, now that you guys know what that is, I guess Thaddeus won over here. Can't make anything happen. Yeah, boy, did I F that up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live show, and we have station identification. No, I bet you're sitting at home thinking, what am I doing on a Sunday watching this moron at 6 o'clock in the afternoon when I could be doing something better? So this is what we call the well, we basically call um, this is basically, I would like to just say that this is basically the start of the podcast. Um, when when so so when yeah so when we have so I have a chair right here, and this is so when we start the podcast for me, basically what we're going to do is we're going to yeah right now it's on the solo show, but we'll have a person who can sit here in this chair. It's not really the greatest of all chairs. Or what we can do is I can start up a company called Streamlabs. Yeah, it's called Streamlabs. And then me and another guy, we can sit in two different rooms and we can stream together. And he can have his thing set up, and then I can have my thing set up, and we can, basically be in the room together. Or we no, we can basically be in two different rooms, but we can stream at the same time. Yeah. So, God damn it, I was literally going to do something today, and I slept the whole friggin' day. I can't believe I did that. Yeah, it pissed me off. So now we're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. Um, so I used so I recently did a show, and Chris Dunn was a part of it, and it was kind of like a cross between the um, the Rebel J show and the Traxaholics podcast. I also run another podcast called the Traxaholics podcast, which is about people who have a passion, a love, and a drive for motorsports. Um, and we are a group of people that basically, if you want to compare us to anybody, you can compare us to Hoonigan. Yeah, if you want to compare us to anybody, you can compare us to Hoonigan. But we're the Minnesota version. Um, we're pretty much a group of people from Minnesota who just, you know, loves to go wild, go nuts, um, but in cars. I'm not a, I mean, I love motorcycles. I follow them. I'm not a big fan of them, so I'll never own one. So no, you will never, you will never get me to ride a motorcycle. And you're saying, why is that, Jack? Well, I will never ride a motorcycle because I've lost too many friends on a motorcycle. And every time somebody gets on a bike, I just want them to come home. You know, I don't want them to be arriving in an ambulance, you know, dead because I lost a friend of mine who was a very, very wonderful guy. His name was Dustin Van Camp. Um, he was a very wonderful person in my life, and he was our photographer for Tracks Revolution. And we lost him on a motorcycle accident. Car pulled out in front of him. He went flying through the air, broke his 345 vertebrae in his neck, and he was literally pronounced dead at the scene. And I have a thing for motorcycles. I don't like them. I don't care for them. But if you drive one, you drive one. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You drive a bike. It's your choice to drive one. I'm not going to sit here and throw you under the bus and say, "Oh, don't drive motorcycles. They're dangerous." I'm not going to say that. No. You want to drive a motorcycle? That's your choice. Okay? I'm not going to go talking down about people, about what they want to do with their lives. That's their choice. Everybody tells me, go live on TikTok and go live on Twitch and go live on this, that, and the other. Every time I go live on Twitch, I get this stupid fucking person or this guy who's on there he's like, dude, he's like, um, he says to me, like, pay for fans or something like that, or, dude, you have to get fans on your own time or whatever. And I'm like, dude, just shut up. Like, there's always somebody out there who's always got a problem with something that I do. And it's not because, you know, I have any issues or anything, I'm not anybody better. No. I'm just a normal everyday guy. Um, and I want to be perfectly really the wind blew the wind blew the curtain over. Yes, I'm in my bedroom, okay? There's no magic that happens here. There's no woman behind that curtain. There's nobody here. Okay, it's just me, the lonesome loser with the titties. Darren told me I need to go get a BBW. Well, what if I already am one? I'm a big bad wuss. Big bear white guy. Oh wow. Hey, I got a person on. Chat who you are. Hello. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Can you well, never mind, you're gone now, asshole. That's somebody who doesn't give anybody a chance. Probably Mark Zuckerberg watching or something going, hey, there's guys on the live stream. I got nothing better to do. I don't know. I was going to use Rumble because for some odd reason people like go on Rumble more than they do YouTube. I have no idea what streaming service to ever fucking use. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just a normal everyday guy who lives his life and tries so hard to actually get people to follow him. Actually, I'm not trying to get people to follow me. I'm just going on live because I have nothing better to do with my life. I guess you can say I actually am a loser. Mhm. I don't know. But see, the fucked up thing is that like YouTube doesn't let you do things like, you know, like if you play like a stint of like somebody else's song or something, it's like copyrighted. But you go over to Rumble and you play like anybody's stuff, and it's like, oh, I allow it. I allow it. It's like really cool. It's like, and I'm not one of these kind of people who have one of those big, huge, like microphones that can like hear you fart. You know, I'm just a guy. I'm just a normal, everyday guy who sits here and tries to not take over the world, but just sits here and has a little fun. I really have no idea what I'm going to talk about today. I don't really know. I just got into the show because I was trying to get Jeremy. Jeremy's, or I say Jager is. He's so he and I were working on trying to get a podcast together called the Two Bears Podcast or the Berserker Bears Podcast or the Rebel J Show, which is the solo show, which I'm on solo, but I'm trying to get Jeremy to see if he'd come on board because, he's a guy that I would love to have on the show. And then Brendan's always on TikTok because he makes money from it. Yeah, Brendan does all kinds of things on TikTok. Have you ever seen his TikToks? Like, he just did a TikTok today where he sealed the bag. Yeah, and I think he gets money from the product that he used or whatever. He did the thing, whatever. That's just way too much time. I don't have any time like that. If I had time in a bottle, I'd share it with you. This is the one thing that I'm getting tired of. Okay, so I go on my Facebook or my Instagram or my Twitter every time, and I get bombarded by this is my favorite thing. It says 45 natural peaches, great personality, looks good in a swimsuit, and likes to take it in her back door. Okay, just say hi to me though, and I'll send you messages and DMs. Why do people have no time in their life to do that kind of shit? I mean, I'm on my Snapchat because somebody for some odd reason thinks that Snapchat's the best goddamn way to talk to everybody when it used to be Facebook, and then all of a sudden Facebook turned out to be some political fucking page, and then Twitter turned to X, which every time when you say you're going on X, it's kind of funny. People look at you so funny and they're like, "You're going on X?" You know, hey, welcome to the show. Comment below if you're on Facebook, yo. Just want to know who it is. I mean, it's 6:19, and you're on the break of probably having dinner, so you're probably losing your mind, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know what to talk about." No, but I'm talking about going on my Snapchat and always having these stupid or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, having these dumbass bots, these women that keep on posting all these stupid freaking messages all the time. And I think this is what got my wife to divorce me as well was I always kept getting these bots on my Facebook page and I was always explaining to myself that I don't know who these people are. and I would always send them a message like, okay, I don't know who you are, so why are you fucking messaging me and why are you talking to me? And then it would like, you know, I would send them a message, and then all of a sudden somebody would either hack into the account, turn what I said into something different, and then go around because my passwords are so easy to get into. I mean, you know, or some way, or say something that I never even posted because sometimes I never even was on my you know Twitter or my Facebook page, but everybody was so quick to just leave me and not even give me a chance. So I don't know. I mean, you know, guys always have to explain themselves all the time, and when they explain themselves, it's always like blah 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 blah. I did porn. Blah 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 blah. I looked at porn. Blah 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 blah. I don't care what you did today. Blah 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 blah. That's what it is. Because when it comes to guys, all we are for every woman out there in the world is basically somebody to use as a scapegoat. At least that's what I think. I mean, every time I've ever been in a relationship with a woman or I've ever been involved in some kind of woman's views or something like that, this is the first thing that they look at me as. They look at me as a loser, a pedophile, a fat shit, a person who doesn't have any kind of sense of morale. I mean, I posted a thing telling you guys what you thought of me, and I only got like 3 answers because that shows you how cowardly you guys are, or that shows you how you won't answer anybody. See, I would tell all my friends at a drop of a hat, "Hey, what's up, Andrew or Anthony?" Yeah, Anthony. Sorry, Anthony. Welcome to the show, buddy. How's it going, man? Because see, I know who you are by your face, by your picture. But see, Anthony, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony is really cool. He's one of the coolest guys I've ever talked to. Um, but see, when I posted that message about what people thought of me, I was actually wanting your guys' honest opinions. Guys, you can have an honest opinion. I'm not going to shoot you, okay? I'm not going to put a bullet through your neck and, whatever, dude. I'm going to tell you honestly, I appreciate how you feel of me. And Anthony, I'm glad you're doing good on a great Sunday afternoon. I mean, I have no idea. I must have been sleeping the whole entire day, but I'm finally going live on the Rebel J Show on Facebook. So, well, not live. Well, because I can go live on Facebook anytime I want to, but I can finally go live on YouTube. So this is live on YouTube now. But no, I posted that thing on Facebook that said, "What do you guys think of me?" And if you don't know who I am, then that shows you that you've never really got to know who I am. But there are people who said that they like the caring side, they like who I am, they think that I'm very, fun to be around, and I'm funny. I was literally watching I was watching the John Candy documentary on Amazon Prime. I actually fell asleep, so tonight I'm gonna watch it again before I go to bed. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna go to the John Candy story, and I'm gonna watch it again because I fell asleep in the middle of it. But I'm gonna tell you guys that I've had a lot of people who've ridden on my groom shuttle. Um, and I work for Groom Transportation. I love the company. I think it's a great company to work for. They have ads on Facebook now for jobs. If you're a person who's a military veteran or a person who has been, who has an income, coming in through the government, but you want to work a couple of hours, Groom Transportation is right up your alley. I mean, you make 14 to 15. You make 14.50 to 16.50 an hour. So it's not a lot of money, but it's a job for people who want a second job. Yeah, is what it is. But you get paid 18 to 16.50 an hour. You get tips. I mean, you do get benefits after a couple of years, and I think the company is a great company to work for. I enjoy it. I have fun with it. But like it is, it's not a full time. It's not a job for a full time person. If you're trying to make a shit ton of money, it's not going to happen. But I mean, I work 6 days a week, and I bring home a $1,500 to a $2,000 paycheck every um, every 2 weeks. That's including tips. But for the month, I make anywhere from like 2,500 to $400 a month, um, or $3,000 a month because I put in 6 days a week. Yeah, I work 6 days a week. So I mean, and that's fine, and that's good for me. But there's no time and a half. It's straight pay. That's what it is. But and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great job. It's a great company. I love it. Um, but when I posted my thing about telling you guys what you guys thought of me, I was expecting more than maybe four people to say something. You know, I was expecting somebody to actually really tell me what she thought of me. You know, I was expecting, my ex to get on there and totally rip me a new asshole, and she has full disclosure. She can, because I know I fucked it up. I know I fucked up our relationship. I'm the one that messed it all up, dude. I'm the one that did it. You guys notice the little hands coming down here in the bottom? Look at that. There's like ghost hands coming out the thing down there. I don't know. Yeah, there's like nobody in this room. It's just the wind blowing from the fan. Yeah. I always think that when you always put up a curtain, there's always somebody behind it. I mean, even in The Wizard of Oz, the guy said there wasn't anybody behind the curtain, and sure as shit there was. I don't know. But no, I mean, I sit here every day and I sit here every day and I say what's on my mind. And the reason why I do these live videos is because one, this is basically like my video diary to you guys. It's basically me telling you every day, hey, I know that I was wrong, or I know that I've messed up, and I know that I've done what you guys have always said. And one of the things that Chris said to me the other night, which I didn't really know this about him, was that he loved rally car racing and he loved it as much as I do. And you know, and that was one of the reasons why he bought his Focus RS, was because, Ken Block had one, and, he liked Ken Block's, and he wanted something that was like a rally car. And there was a girl that I used to know who was a car racer, and she used to race her car, and she had her car all set up, and it was a Focus, or it was a Fiesta, or an ST, Focus, and she had it all done up, but she had it done up for time attack and going to the track, and it was at a lot of the car shows, and then she sold it. She sold it online for like over $40,000. It was like a really nice, chameleon paint jobbed Focus. It was really beautiful. It was one of the nicest cars I ever seen. And if I ever bought a Focus, I would turn it into a rally car. Is what I would turn it into, because that's what I want, is a rally car. Is because I love rally cars. I love rally cars more than I love anything life itself. I mean, I'm a big fan of rally car racing. One of the things that I'm actually going to do with the Traxaholics podcast is I'm going to be trying to watch the rallies on YouTube, and I'm going to try to do the commentating for them and see what I can do. Um, and I can already hear you guys saying that's going to be stupid. Um, but I'm going to give it a shot. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a chance because the thing is that I need to start doing something with my life, or else I'm just going to go downhill and I'm going to lose it. And every night I'm going to sit here and I'm going to cry. I'm going to hate my life and I'm going to try. Um, why is Google Chrome? Huh. All right. I don't know why it does that. Google Chrome uses my microphone for some damn reason. Your location is currently in use. So what? Like, is the government tracking me right now? Hey guys. Notifications. What? Okay. No thanks. It's kind of creepy sometimes when you have a curtain up. You don't know what's behind there. I mean, well, they said that old lady that used to live here, an elderly lady that used to live here, died in this house. So I would be surprised if she was flying around in this house. I don't know. You are not alone. Yeah, pretty much. That's how it always feels. No, no, I've always wanted to do a podcast and I always talk about doing a podcast with Jeremy. I always talk about having him on board and doing this, but you just gotta take it one day at a time. It's raining right now in Minnesota, St. Cloud. I was actually gonna go out and go for a drive, but then I realized to myself that I have a headlight out, so I don't want to go anywhere. Yeah. You know, I find it really funny that in America, like, they don't put like headlights or like they don't put like they don't light up the neighborhoods so you can drive down them without headlights. Or you know, the only reason why we use headlights is so that people can see us. But sometimes, if you think about it, if you just drive down the road, you don't really need headlights. I mean, there's people in this world who drive down the road without headlights all the time because they never turn their headlights on because they think their cell phone's going to do it. I have no idea. I don't know, man. There's just so many people in this world that just do things that are just so amazing. Oh, fucking swallowed a goddamn fruit fly again. So I don't know what it is in my house, but I, for some odd reason, have fruit flies everywhere in my fucking house. I went around with this ortho home defense shit and I sprayed everywhere in my fucking house. And then I got these vinegar fucking traps or these stupid fucking, traps for these fucking bastards. And they still keep coming back. And yes, I am not a person who cleans all the fucking time and everything else. And yes, I'm a lazy fucking bastard. But that doesn't, give fruit flies the right to come in my fucking house. I remember when we used to have fly strips in my fucking other place. Yeah, we had fly strips hanging all over the house. And dude, those sons of bitches would catch everything. But then people would come into the house and be like, why do you have fly traps all over the place? And I'm like, well, that's because we catch flies in it. I mean, yeah, I could buy one of those neon blue light thingies and have bugs go inside that and just sit there and die every day. And then vacuum it out every once in a while. But I just, who does that? I don't know. So yeah, I was watching this John Candy thing. The story it's called. Whoa. It's the John Candy story. It's called "I Like Me" or "I Like Me," and it talks about John Candy. And I've had a lot of people on my van and stuff. They get on there and they say things to me like they're like, "Oh my God, you remind me of John Candy," or "Oh my God, you look like so and so," or "Oh my God, you look like this guy," or "You look like this guy," and I'm like, you know, I wish that I could just say that I'm me as well, but nobody really takes me seriously. And I don't understand what the heck I ever did to be not taken so seriously, but people look at me and they always go, Jack, you're somebody different. You're not the person that you say you are. You're this guy. You're just down to earth. And I had this one lady one day just straight up call me a fucking loser, and I was like, "Oh, nice to know you too." And I just looked at her like I was like, "How do you even know who I am? I mean, you don't even know who I am, and you just want to say things like that make you make you feel like you're a total just douche, you know." And she come she come out of this. She came out. Well, I never said that to her in the van. No, I never called her a douche. I called her that when I left, or when she was like, "Well, that lady was a real douchebag," or something like that. But the thing is that when you do stuff and you live your life, and you have somebody who, you get on a bus and or you get on a van and you do stuff with them, you interact with people, and they don't know how they're supposed to react to you. Um, you know, they don't know how they're supposed to. They don't know how they're supposed to react to you, and you basically live your life every day, one day at a time, and you try to be happy, you try to, be cool, calm, and collected about everything, and you try to live your sweet life. But every day, come on, why is it that every time I open a damn why is it that every time I open one of these stupid containers, they always have a crack in the damn thing? Motherfucker. Never can have anything I fucking want. Always got to be some kind of bullshit joke or something. Always something. Ooh, you know. But so, you know, And I try to be, I try to be happy. I literally try to be happy all the time. And I want to be happy. And I don't want people to freaking hate me like I'm some kind of, you know, just some kind of guy who just has nothing to look forward to every damn day of my life. It's just, really, like, what do you think of me as? Like, what do you think of me as? Like, what? Get in there. Yeah. I can tell you right now, you can't drop hair into a fucking cup. No, you can't. It doesn't want to go inside there. It just wants to stay on the top. Yeah. But like, so you have, people that you talk to every day. I do. I have friends. I have family members who I talk to religiously, and they look at me and they think, Jack, what is your outlook on life? Like, what's your problem? Like, what do you got going on? And you can't really ever say what you got going on, because anytime you ever have a problem with something, it always turns out to be that you have a mental block, or you're tired, or it's always something mental. Like 90% of everybody is mental, and they have something wrong with them that they can't replace, or they can't. Oh, that's Tristan's cup I'm still working on. Yeah. hmm Yeah, I've had people ask me if I have tape, for like taping out my car and stuff. Well, here's my tape. I was actually sitting in a bag. Yeah, back in my drawer. Yeah. hmm But I just don't understand sometimes, like, why, like, so I had this, I've had people say to me, you know, they've said to me that they've seen things in my life, and they've looked at me and they've said, "Oh yeah, you're such a spinning image of Jim Carrey or Drew Carey or even John Candy." And I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, I'm not them. I'm me. So if John Candy can have a show called Just Me, well, then why can't Jack have a show called that? Wow, that's kind of cool. So I made white hair. Yep. I don't know how I'm gonna hang this out to dry, but okay. Where'd my other one go? I had two clips just recently. God. I need to wear shorts. I need to wear shorts. Yeah, that just fall on the ground. I'm just seeing how it works. Yeah, I'm just seeing how it works because I was basically doing a strand to see. Are you fucking kidding me? The goddamn gnat just flew right into the freaking paint. My finger dirty. What the hell kind of gnat just flies into the paint? What a fucking moron. Yeah, the gnat, the food pellet, the parasite that's flying around my fucking house, the fruit flies. I have so many fucking goddamn fruit flies in this fucking house. I'm so fucking sick and getting tired of this shit. Because I don't have any clue where the hell they came from. I don't know. I have no idea. No, I wanted to try something. I wanted to, because I'm okay. So obviously, you guys have been hearing me talk about. I'm talking about. I have a friend of mine that I haven't seen for such a long time. Her name's Julie. I haven't talked to her for a long time. I haven't talked to her. Um, and she is this lady that I love to death. She's kind of like my mother. Well, I mean, I dubbed her as my mom because she took, she used to be my work, or she used to work with me. Yeah, she used to work with me, and she was one of the coolest people in the world. And I loved her to death. I thought she was. I loved her as a mother. Okay, as a as a best friend, as somebody who I could talk to when I was feeling down, and somebody that I was just hurting, and I wanted to talk to because she was fucking cool and fun. Soap and water for cleanup, so it'll probably come out. Yeah, it'll probably come off with soap and water. But I bought paint because I wanted to try something, and I can already hear you guys saying it. Don't do it, Jack. It's not gonna work. Um, because usually it doesn't work when I try to do things. But well, so so Julie is the lady responsible for the braids that are in my hair. And I love this woman more than anything in the world because she was the first lady that did these braids in my hair, and she did a hell of a job. And yeah, she's done a miraculous job on these. So my hair is actually starting to grow really long now, and the braids are actually supposed to be coming out because we're actually getting ready to start dyeing my hair for camo claws and start doing things. And then we're going to put green, red, and white braids in. Um, we're actually going to buy. I'm actually going to buy um, stuff for my hair, these braids, and I was going to do all this stuff, and then Julie was going to put them in. But I don't know what's going on with Julie right now. I don't know if she's. I mean, she said that she's really sick and she's really not doing very well. And I don't know. I miss Julie so much. She's one of the greatest women in my life. I miss her every day. I feel as if I've done something wrong, but I don't know what is. I don't know what is the problem or what's going on. But she's probably healing or recovering. So I'm going to let her be. Because, I mean, I don't know, I don't want anybody to hate me or to be mad at me all the time. I don't want anybody to dislike me. So I'm just going to try to live my life every day like it's just another damn day in my life. Because all I want to do is be happy. I don't want to piss off anybody. And I just don't want to hate anybody anymore. Um, I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't go to work and realize to myself that, hey, I could have done so much better with my life if I would have just done this or did that or saved this or, did that. And everybody keeps on saying to me, they're like, Jack, are you down all the time because you hate yourself, or you're down all the time because you just don't understand what's going on? And basically every day I live my life every day like I just don't know if I'm gonna make it. I wake up every day and I just think to myself that someone's gonna come over to my house, and they're gonna come over here, and they're gonna tell me that they love me, and they're gonna tell me that they want to stay with me, and they're gonna be happy, and they're gonna make my life a lot better. But then I go on a rampage and I break things, and I just, you know, I feel like I'm just never gonna get out of this funk. I just feel like I'm never gonna go anywhere. I mean, the other day I was sitting, you know, at work. I got done with work, and I said to myself, I was like, I got done with work, and I got in the car and went home, and I just crawled into bed and grabbed a hold of my pillow, and I started crying. And I said to myself, I'm like, what the hell, Jack? What's going through your mind? And then I said, well, I lost my shit. I lost my shit. I lost myself. I felt so unedgy that I felt like nobody really cared about me. And this is after Chris and his girlfriend, or Chris and his wife, got online and told me that everything was going to be okay. After Mark Webber got online and said that everything was going to be okay. And I just sat there and I was like, somebody cares about you, Jack, and somebody loves you, but why do you still feel like nobody cares? Like, why do you feel like nobody gives a damn about you? And I said to myself, holy shit, it's just one of those things that you just can't control. And you just sit here and go, what the actual fuck did I just do to deserve that? And you think that those guys are bad people. No, they're not. They're actually great people. They actually love you and they care about you, but you just don't see it the way that you want to see it because they're not physically telling you. See, I'm one of these kind of people that needs face to face recognition. You can talk to me through voice all you want to, and you can tell me that you're doing good, and you can tell me that you're happy and everything, but I don't believe you because I want to see it from your face. I want to see it live, you know? But see, I wish that people I wish that I would get on Facebook or YouTube or whatever and have 1,000 people watching my videos, 1,000 people watching my YouTube videos. You know, and I said something the other day. I said something the other day that was kind of, I don't know, you could take it the wrong way or take it the right way or not. But I said that, if Charlie Kirk would have done his press conferences via, via like, this in his house or in a studio, he'd probably still be alive. But he went out and was live in front of people. He was out there, doing what he had to do because that's what he believed in, was being with the people, and he thought he was safe. He literally thought he was safe. And like I said, dude, nobody deserved what he got. Nobody ever deserves that. You don't have the right to be judge, jury, and executioner. You do not have the right to take someone's life. You just don't. So I don't know why there are people on Facebook who say things like, yeah, Charlie Kirk got what he deserved. And I'm like, no, he didn't. Because you don't have the right to end someone's life. You just don't. No, you're not God. And you're not anybody else who has that right. So why go around thinking that you are? Fucking fruit fly. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna end these fruit flies' lives by just like, smacking the shit out of something. But I just, you can't sit here and keep on saying things like, you know, like Charlie Kirk did this or Charlie Kirk did that or anything like that. But, you know, one of the things that I always think that people, I wonder, I always think that this is the reason why people do video chats is because they're too much of a wuss to go out and do it in front of people. They're, like comedians nowadays aren't even going to go to comedian shows anymore because, dude, you could be on stage. Yeah, Fluffy. Fluffy, Gabriel, Gabriel Iglesias, any of these comedians, Matt Rife, for God's sakes, he could be doing a show, and somebody could attack him, you know, could attack him or could get on stage. I mean, there was a guy who came at him and tried to give him a hug, or not tried to give him a hug, but looked like tried to stab him or something, you know. But is it going to come down to that comedians are going to have to be in a bubble during their show because they're afraid of getting shot, getting stabbed, getting whatever because, they can't do a show without, do a show without being in fear? Are there going to be rock bands like Disturbed or Shinedown or Jason Aldean that are going to have to play behind bulletproof glass and chicken wire? It's like that scene in the Blues Brothers. Chicken wire? And they were throwing bottles at the chicken wire. And they were, bottles were breaking and, but that's the kind of thing that people wonder nowadays, because I wondered that last night when I wondered that one of the times when I was driving in my van one night. I was driving down the road. It was just me by myself. And I thought, well, why don't I have plexiglass? Or why don't I have a partition between me and the driver or between me and the riders? One of those guys could take their safety belt off and stab one of us while we're driving down the road and could kill, you know, one to 14 passengers. if they really and truly wanted to. If somebody thought about that, you know. But that's one of the things that a lot of people don't think about. I think about it all the time because I'm wondering, is someone ever going to lose their shit to the point where they're literally going to turn around and start, stabbing somebody or killing somebody or making them an example? You know, it's like that one time I went to a bar and I was literally by myself. I had long hair, I had hair down to my back, and I walked by this guy and he was like, "Well, we don't like your kind here, faggot." And I'm like, I turned around, I looked at him, I said, Excuse me?" I said, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "You're wearing a kilt, or should I say a skirt, you faggot." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm wearing a kilt, man. That's what I'm wearing. I'm here to visit some friends, and you basically, calling me something that you don't know anything about me, you know, you kind of putting me on the spot, kind of making me feel down. Because when somebody calls me gay, or they call me a faggot and they don't know who I really am, or they call me a pedophile and they don't really know who I am, that really kind of bothers me. Because I would never go around and call somebody a name if I don't know who you are, because that's just wrong. That's just literally wrong. I mean, I'm the kind of person who doesn't like the people who film in the gym, but I don't go to gyms anymore because I can work out at home if I really and truly want to. You can do exercises at home. But I'm always going to be a fat ass. There's no way I'm ever going to lose weight. No. Just sometimes I got this. Sometimes you've got these recessive genes or whatever that you can't ever lose any weight. I mean, you know. But you see all these girls, you see all these people, you see all these people on TikTok and all these people on different, things, and you see all these, videos all the time. And these girls all have different things about them that aren't real. They're made up by other people. There's guys living in bunkers in Kenya or out in some country, third world country, making these videos just so that these people get likes. Yeah, they're not the real person. And this is what I think Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff need to do, is get people who are meta verified. Get people who are actually verified by showing their actual ID. Because if you show your actual ID, then that way you're legit. Yeah. Because that's the only way people are going to be real anymore. I mean, I like people who video chat and who talk about who they really are, but 90% of the time they're full of shit too. They're lying. Because people lie about everything, man. Yeah. People lie about everything. Yeah, they do. Every day, people lie about shit. They're not serious. They're full of crap. They're always lying about everything that they do. And you want to sit here and you want to sit here and say, "Well, why are you the way you are?" Well, the thing is that people are the way they are because, well, they are. Some people are happy, some people are sad, but some people just aren't afraid to show it. And I've been on for almost an hour now trying to tell you guys, how I feel about myself, and I've had one person watch. I've had one person watch. I've had one person get on and tell me they're doing great. I had a person come on YouTube, and the person came on YouTube. They didn't like the thing. They just They viewed it and then they shut it off. I really don't know what I'm supposed to do. I really have no clue, you know. But I've been on here for almost an hour wasting your guys' time, so that's what I think it is a waste of time. So I'm just gonna let you guys go, and you guys have yourselves a great day.